X-Men thing.
Crossover? Is it a Transformers X-Men crossover?
It's
it's toys. Oh,
I got it. Yeah, that's for the 5th anniversary. It was really nice.
There you go. I am Jackson with Just Annoyed. We are here tonight to talk about A Tale of Two Sisters, not to be confused with A Tale of Two Cities. It was
the best of times.
It was the worst of times. Right. But anyway, I have the normal cast of characters here, so we will start with Michael introducing himself. And Michael's a little under the weather, he says tonight. So, Michael, Thank you for being here anyways.
Yep, I'm going to make this short and sweet. Downright Annoyed with movies. Tale of Two Sisters, I chose it last week. I've never seen it before. Turned out, actually, after I chose it, it was the same director as The Good, the Bad, and the Weird, chosen by that guy down there, which I really like. So hopefully I'll let you guys know whether or not I like this movie or not. So I'll pass it off to whoever you want.
We'll go down to Cookie.
Hey, guys. Cookie, just a little podcast, weekly pop culture podcast. As y'all know, I'm not a horror fan person, and we'll get into that momentarily.
You will be soon, Cookie.
I know, it feels like it, right?
Enough time.
Yes. Ryan.
Hey guys, Ryan from the Fake Nerd Podcast. We're a weekly, all-in-one encompassing show of movies, comics, video games, all that jazz. Stop by every Sunday night and join us for a long discussion about everything. This week we're talking about family. Because the Fast and the Furious is back, and I just couldn't be more excited. Oh my gosh, 10 movies in, you'd think they'd stop, but they can't. They just won't. So we'll talk about that. I'm excited to talk about spooky ladies in closets.
You know, Michael is definitely the Vin Diesel in our Fast and the Furious family. That
you mean I'm just terrible right here?
You're the strongest. You're the leader. You're the main character. You know.
The most boring, I guess.
Hey man,
family.
I didn't get a chance to go see it. I'm gonna try and go see it this week. The new one.
Are you gonna see it in IMAX so you could see the first 5 minutes of Jurassic World 3?
Oh, do they have that in there?
Yes.
They're doing that.
Maybe I will. But even though I hated the second one. But anyways, this is not that show. We are here to talk about A Tale of Two Sisters. As Michael said, it was directed by the same person who directed Good, Bad, and the Weird. And I don't have their name up, so hopefully that's what Ryan's Googling right now.
Jee-Woon Kim.
Jee-Woon Kim. So this is a South Korean movie, and it is horror, so it's a different genre than the last one we watched. I am going to start. I'm just going to say, without saying, how much I liked it, I'm going to say I've never watched a movie, I don't think, where I was so lost trying to figure out the plot the whole time. And then at the end, I was like, oh, now it, like, most of it clicks. So I was confused, and it's kind of a risky movie because I could see a lot of people just turning this off because it's like, what the hell is happening? But then you get to the end and it all kind of makes sense. That's my main, I guess, leaping off thought for the movie. But
Yeah, so I pretty much had the same exact kind of reaction as you. The only difference is that I felt a little lost for a little too long, maybe like 20 minutes too long for that first half before that big reveal at the end was revealed. And it kind of took away a little bit from the movie for me because I feel like I was just a little too frustrated trying to figure out what was going on. Not taking anything away from that last act of the movie because I thought that was actually quite brilliant. It was just the first 2/3, the first couple acts, first 2/3 of the movie, I was just trying to figure out what's going on. Got a couple of jump scares, and then I felt just so lost, and it almost felt it felt sloppy watching it because I didn't know what the end result is. And then obviously once I found it out, then it did make sense, but it still didn't make me appreciate the first 2/3 as much as I thought I was supposed to, I guess. I was talking to Jackson a little bit offline. I felt like if they had maybe shaved off 10 to 20 minutes from that first half, maybe it would have given me enough time to be like, got it. Okay. I see what you're going for. That's fucking awesome. I'm all for it, but I think just a little bit too much for me in the beginning. But I mean, overall, that last part was great. I thought I liked it.
Let me, before we jump to Cookie or Ryan, let me pause and just lay out the synopsis of the movie. I feel like we're not as good at this as we should be on this show, especially me. But essentially, the movie is about this family. They live out on like a farmhouse somewhere. And this girl returns home after being committed for some sort of psychological issue, right? That's pretty much what we know. She comes home and moves back in with her sister and her dad. And then there is a woman also living there, the stepmother character, who essentially was a caretaker for their mother who died. The dad was a widow and the stepmother was, somebody who took care of her. Now, I'm assuming we're going to get into spoilers if we talk about this. So anybody who's watching this, including the one person in here right now, if you have not seen this, I don't know about everybody else. I would recommend not watching this review. I hate to be that guy, but I would go watch the movie. I think it's good enough.
It's actually very similar to the very first movie that we watched in terms of spoiler type of movies.
Yes,
you can't talk about this movie without spoiling it, kind of thing.
For sure.
So
like the closest comparison, it's not the same movie, but like something like The Sixth Sense, where like you can't talk about the movie without talking about like the essential spoiler of the movie because it's so essential to the movie itself.
Yes, if you watch the first 80% of this movie and turned it off, it would make absolutely no sense.
Yeah, I'd be like, wow, this is a really messed up family.
Right. Yes.
That's what happened though with when Paul tried to watch that first movie, right?
Correct.
So he watched like the first 75% of the movie, didn't finish it, and it just ruined the entire thing.
Yeah, I don't even think he did. I think he made it about
he still did
40 minutes through. But anyways, so there's my asterisk. Everybody can either ignore it or not. Cookie, what'd you think? Mr. Horror Man.
I did not understand a crap load at all. I was on this trip and I'm like, okay, all right. What's going on? And it seemed like it started at the end and it worked its way through. Like, it's like you're seeing her talk to the doctor or not talk to the doctor. And the doctor's asking her all these questions. And then he goes and says, like, who do you think you are? And that's where I was like, all right, what kind of trip is this going on? And you go down this rabbit hole and you're still wandering this rabbit hole until the very, very end of the film. And then you're like, oh, okay, this is all blah, blah, blah. And then it starts to click. But it's a weird film. I didn't appreciate it until the very end. Yeah. It did give me a little bump higher into, I wouldn't say it's like very scary, but it does have its elements of getting you frightened, getting you afraid, and then keeping you on your toes. So.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was sufficiently frightening. Ryan, have you seen this before? I got a sense that you had seen this.
Yes, I have seen this before, yeah.
What did you think? Did you like it? I mean, do you like it?
I'm a big fan of this movie.
Yeah.
I think all of your guys' criticisms is valid. Like, I absolutely agree. Not that you guys aren't or anything, but I've watched South Korean movies since I was like a kid. So I'm so much more inclined to be like, what I love about South Korean cinema is they just go harder in all aspects of their filmmaking. They don't hold back. And very much like all the South Korean movies we've watched have been just like balls to the wall, right? They're never subdued, right? It's because like America is very afraid to do a lot of these types of stories. And then when you get something really good like that, that's why it's so praised. Something like Hereditary. Like these movies are like every other South Korean movie. They're not afraid to be balls to the wall. Also really artistic. Like there are some really beautiful shots in this movie that this is a super small budget, like low budget movie, but like her stepping on the wood and the blood seeps out. Like that is just a really easy practical effect that I just found really, really like spooky. I use the word spooky for anything that's horrifying because I think it's a silly word. So for people who are new, I love spooky stuff. I'm a big fan of this movie. I have seen it before, so I already knew what the story was, but it has been a long time. I just think it's really good filmmaking. I think the acting is exceptional, especially like the stepmom, the crazy stepmom. Yeah, she's playing two different characters at one point. I think it's just really, really good. I think I like some of his other movies more, but I think this is a really good one.
I do want to say nothing I said, Ryan, your point. I don't criticize it. This is getting an A from me. Mm-hmm. I thought it was unbelievably good. It was strange though, because you do it. Like I was sitting there watching it with my wife, and the whole way through, I'm like, okay, so the uncle. Oh, wait a minute. So she said that he was her, you know, like you're sitting there trying to figure this all out. And there's a couple bits that I do want to get into where I'm still a little confused, but the ending, like that, the other thing we haven't touched on is like thematically the idea of like this guilt and mental illness and all the things that are like at play here are great. And the fact that like the movie does a good job of, you know, that there's a twist coming of some kind, right?
Sure.
Like you just know like something is not what it seems here.
Yeah.
But I had one aspect of it kind of figured out, but the other part of it I had no clue until the end. And then it all made sense. But I do want to ask, Ryan, you've seen this twice.
To be fair, the last time I saw it was like a decade ago. So like it's basically brand new.
Okay, so my question is, there's a scene where the aunt and uncle come over for dinner. And the aunt has like a seizure and falls to the ground, and she starts choking and like coughing up, you know, puke or vomit or whatever. And she says she saw a girl under the oven.
Yeah.
What? Now the end of the movie. I don't like. Is she imagining it, or is there a supernatural force at play?
Yes.
Even though that's not the twist, right?
It's not it. So this is a horror movie, but I honestly consider this more of a drama than a horror, because the horror stuff is kind of it's not throughout the whole movie. It comes and goes, I think, because it's very much just about like this girl dealing with all this bad drama. But like she saw a ghost under there. She saw Soo Young, the dead sister.
Okay,
the dead sister.
So we're to believe that this movie has two things going. There is the element of multiple personality disorder that clearly the girl has, and then there is also a malevolent force of some sort or whatever that is also haunting this house.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Just the movie. The thing I appreciate about this movie is like good thing it turns out good. Like the ending is really good, but like this is a movie that like you have to have faith in it, because it doesn't give you a lot of answers. Like it's definitely there is like the multiple personality aspect and the ghost aspect happening at the same time, and those are both mysteries. So like you just have to work with it. And luckily, again, I think like the acting's strong enough and the cinematography strong enough. But like it's not until the end you realize that the sister's been dead the whole time. And then you realize like, oh, so she saw a ghost while she was imagining her sister actually being there.
Well,
so there's just multiple levels.
There was hints of it too.
Hold on though. So here's where it's weird, because outside of that scene, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, everything that's being seen is from the girl who's crazy, right?
Yeah.
The multiple personality. That scene is the only time that any outside character outside of her sees something. Is that correct?
I think maybe.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe the dad.
So I guess
the dad
my
doesn't
question
see
is,
it. Yeah.
Right. The dad doesn't see it. I'd have to rewatch the film, but I'm pretty sure we don't even see it when they first show the shot, because they're very clear to show a shot of like the slippers of the girl who we find out is actually the little girl, but she looks like the stepmother.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure like in that shot, you can see under the oven and that ghost isn't there. And then on the way home, there's a strange part where like I'm sitting there thinking like, okay, this guy is his brother or her brother. And then on the way home, the woman who saw the ghost, who's like puking, is like, well, I didn't want to go, but my dad insisted that I go. And then I'm like, well, what's the family connection here? So that was the only thing in the movie where when it ended, I'm like, okay, I could have used some clarity on that. Now, I will say, I will be rewatching this very soon, because this seems like one where when you watch it again, going in knowing everything that's going to play out, I feel like it's going to be a very different, also enjoyable experience. Again, like The Sixth Sense, how the second time you saw The Sixth Sense, it was never the same. It's still good, but for a different reason, right?
Yeah.
So, sorry to steal the show there for 5 minutes, but I wanted to parse through that.
I appreciate that. Means like there's something in this movie to talk about. I love that.
So I just want to bring up two things real quick. Well, since we're just still talking about that dinner sequence, there was a scene towards the end of the movie where we see the stepmom, I guess, and then it turns out that the woman was actually her the whole time. It's like in her imagination, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible that that's actually her at the dinner table with the aunt and uncle when they come there? Because when she's telling the story of like, hey, don't you remember this? And he's like, I don't remember any of this. I don't know what you're talking about.
So it's definitely it's definitely the little girl at the dinner table. And the reason why is because that's why everyone's so somber and uncomfortable, is because this girl is talking as if she's somebody she's not even,
right. Okay. So
like,
I want to make sure
sitting there like,
so the second thing is it possible that the aunt and uncle and the dad that entire scene was just a figment of her imagination?
I don't think so, because it's supposed to show us like the comfortability of the situation.
Yeah,
of like
and
she's pretending, she's like disassociating so much, she's like pretending to be someone else. So like this is a real memory that she was not there for, but she knows about it. So everyone's like, this is really uncomfortable. We're not going to feed into this. We're going to say, I have no idea what you're talking about, to stop it.
Got it.
Because like these are a bunch of doctors.
And we know that's not the case, because then you can't have the next scene where it's just them who just left the house, because they wouldn't have ever been there. So
that's true. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that because that was the other thing too. That's what's funny about this movie. There were parts where I'm like, okay, like, because I'm trying to decide what I think is going to be the twist, right? And I'm like, okay, so if this is the twist, well, never mind, that can't be the twist, because then that doesn't make sense. Like, there's certain things at play here that are like, it's the movie is awesome. Like, I really liked it. Now I was frustrated, but again, Michael, this is where we, like, to you could have cut some time out of it. I get that.
I think I was just frustrated just a little too long. That's all. That's the only thing. I mean, like I said before, it doesn't take, like, I'm not giving this movie any lower than, I haven't decided yet, but I don't think I could give it any lower than a B+ at all.
Right. But yeah, Cookie,
it didn't take away that much. Sorry.
Was there anything that you kind of took from this? I mean, I guess here's my question for Cookie, because he's not a horror guy. Was this something where, do you kind of understand why people like horror like this? Because they're, it's more than just trying to scare you, right?
Yeah,
there's
absolutely.
like a thematic, meaningful plot here, right?
Sure. It's not the slasher horror. It's more of that one that really gets you psychologically, like, thinking what's happening, trying to decipher, almost like a detective. You're trying to figure out what's going on, how this is playing out, and you're trying to solve this movie before it actually happens. And it wasn't until towards the end when you kind of get everything revealed to you. And like, I'm getting flashbacks, like when the stepmom was talking to the girl, the younger sister. And then you're seeing the interaction, and the camera, instead of panning to the younger sister, it pans to her. And you're like, but she wasn't talking to her. You're like, oh, she's not there. And then it's like, there's little subtle things that you're kind of seeing throughout the entire film that's hinting at it, but you can't piece it together because you're trying to figure it out on your own. And it's not until the end where everything really does click. And I think it works in Korean films or in other countries besides the United States, because we're so accustomed wanting everything now. And for them, they're willing to wait out through the entire film to see how it plays out, versus us. We're like, nah, I'm done. 15 minutes and I don't like it.
Yeah, apparently there was an American remake of this called The Uninvited, which I've never seen. But I'm very interested in seeing that, because I have a feeling it's not going to be like an A24 style Hereditary deal, which is what this should be. No. It's going to be like Americanized, like Blumhouse type feeling stuff, which is not this type of movie.
It came out in like the mid 2000s. Like, it's one of those like when like The Ring and all those movies are coming out, there's all the bad ones. Like, I think it's one of those ones. And I didn't even know that it was that movie was based off this movie. That's hilarious. It's not called.
And you've seen it? Have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen it, because I heard it was bad. And I'm like, oh, it's another bad horror movie. But now I know it's based off a good movie. I'm not going to see it ever now.
Get ready to watch it next week, Ryan, when I get picked.
I love it.
Do you guys get a beautiful mind feel when you watch this?
Sure.
Okay.
I can see the comparison.
That's what I was kind of feeling when I got to them. I was like, wow, this is pretty sweet. It's pretty intense. And it's like, it's almost something that could really happen. Mine, besides like unless you believe in ghosts and stuff.
I mean, the ending, I guess we should talk about the ending. The ending is like devastating.
It's my favorite. I think it's the most impactful scene in the whole movie. And there's a lot of good stuff in this movie, but like from the second you find the hanging mother in the closet to the closet falling over, then killing her, and then the stepmom going like, no, screw her, but then maybe changing her mind and then getting into a fight saying, no, actually screw her. That's what causes the whole movie, man. Yeah. It's like,
hold on. So you think that was actually the stepmom?
At that point, yes.
I don't.
Oh, no?
No, I think that she had created this awful woman in her head that was trying to move in on her family, and it was her that found her. She turned around and walked out, and like she had a moment talking to themselves where she says to her, like, if you do this, you're going to regret this. And she leaves, turns around, and it's
that's what I thought too.
That's so much better. That's awesome.
That's
yes. So like I watched, and that to me, like that is
that's even better.
Like now it's like, okay, what's more miserable for this girl, to live this delusion or to wake up and know that she's the reason why her sister died? Right.
Oh God. This is even better now.
Yeah. So that's what I got. I mean, but to your point, Ryan, at first I'm like, well, wait a minute. Why is this bitch leaving her to just die? And then like, as she's walking away outside, that was when it clicked. I'm like, oh my God, she's not even standing in that window.
Yeah.
This is all in her head.
That makes so much more sense.
But so
that made it so much better. I'm not gonna lie to you.
So, Cookie, were you with Ryan on that? Did you think that it was actually? No, I don't think. Mike, what about you?
No, I was with you, man.
Yeah. So I think that's what. Now, director of this movie, please call in and let us know if I'm dead wrong or whatever. But that's what I choose to believe. So
the scene where there's a moment where she's looking through some photographs, and the photographs tell an entire story within looking at the photographs, and I love that. Like you see all of them working together, and then you see a dude in like a chemical suit, meaning something bad happened, like or maybe somebody got sick, and then you see the mom furthering away while they get closer in the pictures, and I'm like, yo, man, that's a story. That's like a prequel story that like they just put right here. Like it's just little moments that are so good throughout this movie, and I'm like, so good.
It almost had like a feel like The Others did with Nicole Kidman. Like it's got a lot of American bits. Like you can kind of make
way better than The Others.
I like The Others.
It was before,
but it was still way better than The Others.
Yeah. This was 2003. When was the
Others? Was it? Yeah. Oh, it's around the same time. Then never mind.
But either way, hey, Michael, don't try and get me to talk negatively about The Others. But this was better than The Others, I guess. Yes, but no, I thank you for picking this. First of all, because this is like, as soon as I started, I was like, okay, well, I better just like put the seatbelt on and hunker down, because I'm not going to be able to go do anything or pause this without losing my train of thought. It's one of those. It's not an easy film to watch, I would say. It takes a little effort mentally. You
definitely need to be invested into it from beginning to end.
Yep.
That could have also been part of my fault, because I did pause it a couple times throughout the movie. But either way,
well, it's got to start it over tonight then.
But the thing is, it's a good enough movie that like after this review, I want to go back and watch and try to catch all these little things that I obviously had missed.
Well, I want to watch. Sorry, go ahead, Cookie.
I was going to say the scoring on this is really, really exceptional. I don't know if you guys really caught that, but the how everything really panned out with the cinematography, but the scoring really brought it home. For me.
There's one shot.
You brought up the cinematography. It's gorgeous to look at.
Like even just like being in like an old gray house, it looks great, but there's also some like beautiful outside shots. Like there's one at the beginning. It's like a sprawling shot of like what the lake first looks like, and the piano is like do. I'm like, this is like a fantasy movie for like 5 seconds. It's gorgeous.
Kind of on the same topic. The score was great, but even the scenes where there's absolutely no music whatsoever, the choosing to not put music in scenes that probably any other person would put music in was even creepier.
An American movie,
right? Yeah.
When the dead mom comes up with like the broken neck. Did that spook any of you?
Oh,
yeah,
good.
That scared the crap out of me.
It's a creepy movie because it's creepy because you don't really know what's going on. So you're like, things are happening and you're just like, okay, well, I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about this. Like, what the hell is happening? Is she imagining it? Which girl is this? Blah, blah, blah. Like, you're always trying to figure it out. So it keeps you on your toes. And every time you think you've like gotten a little grounded. I mean, to me, the scene where the stepmom throws the girl in the closet is like terrifying.
Oh man,
I mean, that is awful, isn't it? Oh man. Oh God. But I was really jacked. I actually Googled this to purchase it immediately, and there's an Arrow video release coming out in like 2 months.
Is it like
so
4K?
I pre-ordered it. What's that?
Is it like 4K? Nice.
No, it's Blu-ray, but I'm still buying it.
Still good.
Oh yeah, I'm pumped. But go ahead, Ryan. Sorry.
Talking about that scene where like she's throwing her in a thing. I'm just feeling like, wow, like none of that's actually happening right now.
I know,
like,
right?
That's why the dad's not responding because nothing's actually happening.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is very loud. What the hell? And I'm like, oh, and now it makes more sense.
You're sitting there wondering. You're like, God damn it! Now the movie's broken because someone would hear this.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even the mom, like when they were eating at dinner and the mom would ask questions, the dad didn't respond.
Right. Yep. And they throw you off with brilliant shit like him putting the pills next to the mom and she's like laid out in bed all day and he checks like all the stuff. When you think back, it's like, okay, actually this all makes sense now.
It all clicks.
Because everything I was watching was a lie, basically. Like the movie fooled me, and I was still emotionally invested in all the characters. And the dad was really good too because he kind of plays. He reminds me of Steve in Hereditary, where it's like he's just there and he's not the crazy one.
Jackson, I literally had the same exact thought. He's like, he's just a dude trying his best.
Yes, exactly. So, you do need to watch that, Michael. I mean, it's the best American horror movie, one of the best ever, in my opinion.
It's legitimately like my favorite horror movie of the last 5 years.
Michael, just watch it for me too, man. Just watch it for me.
No, it's gonna get picked.
It'll be a Halloween spectacular.
It's gonna get picked. Somebody's gonna pick that shit. But anyway, go ahead.
This director, he's directed one American movie. Do you guys know what it is?
No.
It's the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie called The Last Stand.
No way. Did he really?
With Johnny Knoxville in it?
Yeah, it's like some like Texas like border shootout movie. I haven't seen it. It has its fans. Apparently, like some people, it's like a cult classic. Like some people really like it.
I mean, it's been a while since I've seen it, but I think I remember liking it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, it's Arnold. Even if it's bad,
that's probably why. Yeah.
I would like to say I'm very I liked this better than the Western comedy we watched, the one Ryan recommended. So, Michael, you're beating Ryan. But I could see fans of whatever those two genres are, like loving those two movies. So I don't think one is better than the other, but man, he's nailed two genres for me. So let's see the action movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
My favorite movie that I've seen of his, and it's like, you guys think this movie's brutal. Like this next movie, like it's called I Saw the Devil. And it stars the guy from The Good and Bad and the Weird, the bad, like the bandit in like full black, with, like the mustache.
Okay, cool.
He plays like a CIA agent or like the equivalent in Korea, going after a serial killer who killed his wife, and it's a revenge story that's like the most brutal, like globetrotting, like horrific, like. I thought about picking it, but I thought it was going to be too much for this show. But now that we're here, the gates are open. Like,
yeah, we're not. Nothing is too much for this show.
Yeah.
No.
Cookie, man, I'm not picking it, but that movie's.
Well, I might pick it, Ryan. So
it's great. It's great.
Speaking of picking, Michael was going to possibly have to bail because he doesn't feel good, and we were supposed to pick at the beginning.
It's okay. It's all right. I got a second wind. It's all right.
But I'm an idiot, so let's.
We all
pick
forgot
now,
immediately.
Before we do that, let's do grades.
Oh, good.
A.
There you go.
Going with an A. I'm gonna go B+.
I will also go with an A.
I'm gonna go B+ as well, just because
That's a pretty good average.
Those are all.
Yeah.
Good. I'm happy with those scores.
Ryan, I need your grade from The Crow.
I'll let you know when I watch it.
Oh,
you've never seen it?
No, I've seen it, but I haven't seen it in long enough where I want to.
That's fine. That's totally fine. I just didn't know. All right.
Yeah, cool. I want to be fair. I'll watch it this week.
Sweet. Okay, cool. Then now we can. Are you guys any final thoughts on the movie?
It's
Definitely
great.
go watch it. I think whoever watches in the replay, honestly I recommend watching it. It really is a good film.
Mm-hmm.
No amount of spoilers could ruin the movie, I think.
I just want to just re-emphasize what Ryan was talking about earlier about the how risky this movie is, because I mean, if with the type of ending like this, oh, you said that? I'm sorry, whoever said that. Anyways, no, but it's a very risky movie, and it's something that could either just have such a great reward or just completely fall flat. And there's no way that this could have been successful if it weren't for the acting, cinematography, score, and all that other stuff. So I just kind of wish it is shaved off 10. No, you know what I really should have done? I wish I didn't have any interruptions throughout the movie. That's probably what it was. So I'll revisit it. B+. I'll put an asterisk near it if I may readjust my grade after I watch it. After
Michael, the movie is less than 2 hours. I do think if you just watch it in one full go, I think you will get a little more out of it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Excuse me, guys.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. Jackson bailed, so this is our show.
Cool. Well, I guess this is our show now. Let's share this. We don't have anybody in the stream right now, so I will.
Haters. I can't see my DVD collection.
I will take off audience, and it's just going to be us. Should I take off Jackson since he's not here?
I was going to say, but he made it back.
All right,
Don't you dare take me
off. Man. I can't see my DVDs at all. Oh, man.
Let's see who's picking next week.
I hope it's not me.
Come on, Cookie.
I mean, I'll take it.
Oh, okay. Boy.
Yeah. No, it's not Cookie. What do we got, Mike? What do we got?
All right, what do we got today? I'm going to go old school again because that's the kind of guy I am. And I am going to do this. We are going to watch
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
No, that's a great one, though. No,
it is. I almost clicked it on earlier today. I was like, ooh.
Have you guys seen Steamboat Bill Jr.?
I don't even know what this is.
It's an old Buster Keaton movie.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Oh,
black and white. He's a comedian. It's short. It's a short movie, I think, actually.
These movies are like 7 minutes long. Yeah.
Yeah, right? No, this one is not 7 minutes, but
I did just on Twitter, someone was sharing.
An hour and 10 minutes.
Oh, it's easy. I'll watch it twice. Someone was sharing some behind the scenes of some Buster Keaton, and like, holy shit, that dude should have died like 100 times. Like, impressive. Just what an impressive dude. So I'm excited to see this, actually.
Yeah. So Steamboat Bill Jr. and surprise, surprise, that's going to be on my channel next week, coming back. So yada, yada, yada.
Watch us all hate it.
I know, right? Whoops. And I haven't seen it since I was way younger, so that'd be kind of interesting as well. Let's see here. Let's do our genre wheel.
Uh-huh.
Let's see. What do we got so far for genre? We have.
Wow.
You weren't here last week, Ryan. So if you have any foreign films you want me to add on, let me know.
La Moustache. It's a French drama about a French drama, and I own it on DVD. It's about a man who has a mustache his whole life, and then he shaves it off, and then the whole world is like, "You never had a mustache. What do you mean?" And it's like a psychological thriller about his mustache.
That's terrifying. That's almost like shaving Cookie's beard.
Cookie has a beard.
All right, let's see what we got.
So many genres.
Oh boy,
movies we think this? Paul would like.
Paul would hate.
Oh, what is he? Okay, what are movies that he's disliked in the past on this show? You got the grades, Michael, right?
Yeah, I do.
You got the grades.
Let's see, Paul.
I'm trying to think.
Paul hated One Cut of the Dead.
Okay, he
hated Dune.
Okay,
he hated Mac and Me.
Oh, these are
Romance
bad,
and Cigarettes.
That's okay.
Ooh,
Surf.
Okay.
I don't know why he gave Surf Ninjas a C-, but yeah. In the Army Now.
Man, these are all just. Oh man.
The Dead Don't Die.
I'm gonna do Son-in-Law.
A Christmas Carol.
Okay.
Son-in-Law.
Yes, that's a Pauly Shore movie.
Oh God,
Jeez.
you are the worst.
Okay, the Dead Don't Die.
God.
Okay,
That's probably his best movie, though.
Yeah, I
Besides
think it
Encino Man.
is. I think
I
it
didn't
is.
Encino Man.
I'm gonna do okay. So I think Paul hates foreign movies, so I'm just gonna pick a long foreign movie.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Seven Samurai.
Okay.
Oh, that movie is so good.
It doesn't matter. It's just for Paul.
I'm gonna
It's just
pick.
for Paul.
I'm gonna pick another movie by Jim Jarmusch, who did The Dead Don't Die. Only Lovers Left Alive, which I think rules. Which is a Tilda Swinton and Tom Hiddleston vampire movie.
Okay. I'll choose a movie I think everybody should hate. The Beach. Is that the one with Leo DiCaprio?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
beach. Yeah. They
That
find
or-
weed, man. They find
I don't-
weed on the
I've
island, man.
actually never seen it. It just looks
Is
terrible.
The Beach? Is that like a spiritual like successor
No
to
idea.
like the Blue
Never seen it.
Lagoon? Oh, okay.
Never
I
seen
think it
No
is.
idea.
I think it is, Ryan. Yeah, it's like a bunch of people go out to this island where all the partying happens and stuff, and then there's, some.
Oh,
sort of
I remember that
horror aspect.
poster where Leo's just like, I'm Leonardo. Look at me.
Yes,
All right.
right,
Yeah. Okay.
The beach.
I'm Leonardo. Look at me.
DiCaprio was nominated for a Razzie. So
Oh,
look at that.
boy.
That movie
Hey,
is
do you
real bad.
guys think that there's going to be a Geely 2 now that they're back together? The Affleck and what's her face?
Is it official? I thought it was a publicity.
It's
stunt.
official.
They're making out in cars.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
my
making
God.
out.
Ooh. All
Yeah.
I know is the South Park with when Cartman has Henny
Oh my
Lopez
God.
on his hand
It's
is just the best. It's so good. But all right, well, we've made it through another episode. Michael, thank you for bearing with me and my stupidity. I know we
Thank
were
you,
going to
Mike.
start the show with the wheel. What you don't know is I did it on purpose because we
I
just can't
figured you
have
did.
this show.
Just
Just
as
like
much.
the movie, it happens
Right.
at the end.
Yes.
Look at that.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah. So everybody have a good night. I'll let everybody else say goodbye. I'm Jackson with Just Annoyed. We'll go that way.
Cool. And I'm Mike from Downright Annoyed with Movies for right now. Catch the next one on my channel next week.
Cookie?
I'm Cookie, just a little podcast. On Tuesday, I have a new episode dropping for that, so be on the lookout. Yeah, that's about it for me.
And Ryan.
If you guys want to join a free family reunion, join us live on the Fake Nerd Podcast YouTube channel in just a couple hours where we talk about Fast and the Furious 9: the Fast Saga. And then we can talk about the sequel, Fast 10 Your Seatbelts, coming to theaters or whenever that comes
Is
out.
that an
Is that
official
re-
title?
is
Yeah.
that official?
It needs to
It's just in our hearts.
be. Yeah. Yeah. Again,
Cool.
Jackson, Just Annoyed. Thank you all for coming. And we will see you next week to watch one of Michael's 1920s classics, Steamboat Bill Jr. So everybody have a good night.
Mr. Keaton.
Busta Rhymes.